secretaries.
The task force on declassification of federal secrets will come to order.
A freshly launched oversight committee task force led by Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna is assigned to unmasking holdouts who defied Trump's first-term directives and blocked release of thousands of JFK documents.
So our task force is, trying to reach out and question the bureaucrats, figure out which bureaucrat didn't comply with the orders. Same thing happened with the Epstein files when Pam Bondi thought she was releasing the Epstein files. It really wasn't the Epstein files, obviously.
You're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names, and we're going, where's the rest of the stuff?
So that task force is kind of working on very hard behind the scenes to identify which bureaucracies and which bureaucrats are not complying with the president's orders. I heard that 10,000 times over the past 2 years. Well, we can't turn that over. There's an ongoing investigation. We're hearing that with the Epstein files now in this administration. So
who's telling you that?
Well, that's what that's when we request information, if they don't provide it, that's what they say, there's an ongoing investigation.
Some liaison to Congress tells you that?
Well, whoever replies to our letter or subpoena, that's what they say. There's an ongoing investigation.
So even now they're citing that for Epstein?
We've been real careful to try to let, some of these cabinet officials get established and things like that. The task force has asked for, the Epstein list and things like that, and that's been the reply thus far, but they still say we're going to release it. We're in the process of releasing it. We've just got to make sure nothing is released that compromises the ongoing investigation.
Do you think we now have all the JFK files, or they're in the process of being posted and so on?
Well, I would say that we've probably gotten pretty much what we're going to get. The question I have is, were there documents that have disappeared over the last 4 decades, and that's probably a possibility. I find it hard to believe that if the government was involved in some type of role in the Kennedy assassination, that they would say, okay, let's keep this file in this safe here, and, I would think that file would disappear very quickly.
Well, I've said much the same about the Epstein files. Certainly, if there are bad actors, they weren't holding the documents under a glass dome waiting for Trump to be reelected so that they could be released.
The thing that worries me about the Epstein files, and I've read a lot about it, like most Americans have, is was our government involved in this? Were they potentially blackmailing some of the most influential people in the United States or in the world? If you go into, Britain and other countries where we know there were very high-profile people that were going to the Epstein Island or whatever you want to call it. And if that was the case, I find it hard to believe that any type of evidence of that would still be in existence.
Including videos.
Including videos.
We know there were videos.
And, I think at the very least, there are 2 questions most Americans have. Who was on the list, and did our government, play any role in evaluating that or spying on that, or were they involved in any type of, blackmail attempts or anything to get information? Enough time has passed, but we're still battling that battle.
Beyond just prying